What are some ways to alleviate stress? First, here's a really easy one. TikTok and memes. Yes, they are complete time wasters, but they're also escapism and they can make you laugh. There's an account called Life Pretty Sick on Instagram that only posts about chronic illness, and most of those posts are memes, and they're hilarious if you're in the club and you know. In general, I'm a really big fan of escapism. I like to read books, I like to watch movies, I like to watch TV shows, especially if there's a lot of episodes out. Being in another world can give you a break from your own. Make a plan. I have so many plans B and C and sometimes D because sometimes the what ifs of MS get to be too big. Some of my plan Bs are completely unrealistic. Like one of them is moving to Montana to live on a ranch. I have never been to Montana, and I don't know who would take care of the ranch for me, but just thinking about an escape plan can sometimes help calm me down. Journaling can be a good way to write about your stressors and kind of get them out of your head and onto paper. You can try free writing, which is a type of writing where you just do like a brain dump. Literally anything that pops into your head, you write down. That can actually help you figure out what your stressors are if they're not obvious. I've kept a gratitude journal since before I had MS. The fact that I don't journal about anything negative is probably linked to my toxic positivity that I think we can admit that I have. But my goal is to find things to be grateful for when I'm in a bad place. And sometimes that's chapstick. It could be my dogs, usually one dog a little bit more than the other. Air conditioning, Epsom salt baths, chocolate. I can usually come up with more things on a bad day than I can on a good day, which is sort of interesting. It's a good way to kind of pop you into a little better thinking mode. Take deep breaths and stand up straight. Standing up straight can help you take deep breaths, which are calming, but it can also take your body out of this sort of fetal position protective posturing that can actually make your stress receptors go into overdrive. Have a nice primal scream. It's best not to do this in public, so I recommend doing it in your car. It's also a good idea to have a good cry every now and then. I happen to be very bad at crying. I actually did cry in this workshop, which is super rare for me. I find it's easier to cry if I'm watching a sad movie or reading a sad book, and that can help you release some tension that you're holding on to. Break things, preferably not your own. Rage rooms started in Japan in 2008, and now a lot of cities and countries around the world have what are called anger rooms or rage rooms. And there's even a company called Smash Therapy that has multiple locations, and you can go in and you break old ceramics or you break glass or even televisions. And you don't have to clean it up, which is the most important part of this whole scenario. Smashing things is one of the most unrestrained things a human could do. The idea is that if you can truly vent your anger will decrease. Some studies do say the opposite can be true, especially if you don't really know what the source of your anger is. But if you're pretty sure it's MS or it's something that happened at work, or if your BFF ghosted you, directed anger can help. Interestingly, women use these rage rooms a lot more than men, like 80 to 90% of the customers are women. Have routines. Most parents know that their children or dog children do their best when they have a regular schedule and they have regular routines. Doing the same thing the same way helps minimize stress by removing decisions. I literally eat the same 2 things for breakfast every single day. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's when I go to my trainer, and I always read before I go to sleep. I read when I'm on vacation, I read when I'm at home. By removing choice, you can often remove stress. Forming routines can also help anchor you. Your day might have been really bad, but you have a book to look forward to before you go to sleep. The certainty of your routine can help you cope with things that are uncertain or unpredictable, like MS. Try progressive muscle relaxation. What you do is you tense each muscle in your body and then you consciously relax them to help calm yourself physically. There are several scientific studies that back this as a way to decrease stress. Doing it before a test helped students get better scores than people who didn't do it. Other studies have shown it's really helpful for stress and depression and anxiety. Rock back and forth. If you have a rocking chair, that's great. If you have access to swings, that can also work. But if you don't have either, you can literally sit or lay down and just kind of rock back and forth. Rocking is going to stimulate the vestibular system, and for a lot of people, that creates a deep sense of calm. Think about fussy babies. You're allowed to be the fussy baby in this scenario. Spend time in nature. Note that doesn't mean camping for me. I'm not a camping person, Maybe you're a camping person. I could camp if it was in like a cabin, but spending time in nature plus being barefoot in nature is grounding. Not just to make you feel more grounded, but the grounding that we talk about in the alternative medicine section. On that note, water is calming for most people. I'm instantly in a better mood if I'm around a body of water, like the beach or a lake. Do a news cleanse. In my decades on this planet, watching, reading, or listening to the news of the day has never once relaxed me. Take a week off of the news. If it's big enough, somebody is going to tell you about it. Try listening to music instead. Watch comedies, read or listen to books, and maybe lay off the murder shows or other intense emotional stimulus. If you're having a tough time right in the moment, play a game of I Spy with yourself. Name 3 things that you see right now. It can help put you in the present, not in the scary future or the disappointing past. My husband teaches a type of photography called mixang, which stands for the good eye, and that's designed to help with this. It's one of the Buddhist arts, of which there are several. The point isn't perfection at all. In mixang, you're not trying to take a pretty picture. It could end up being a pretty picture, but that's not the point. The point is to grab a camera and take pictures of things that kind of stop you, that just things that you notice. My husband has a lot of pictures of like dishes in the sink. He has pictures of reflections and shadows. It has a calming effect and helps get you out of your head. And finally, arrange a play date or recreational activity for yourself. What do you find particularly fun to do? You don't need an occasion to do things for yourself.